grab a banana, grab an apple or something, and then you're like, oh crap, I don't have time to eat this, and put it down for an hour, and then come back and it's kind of nasty looking. Because I'm sure I've done that plenty of times, and you guys probably have too. Well, the reasoning behind that is enzymatic browning. So we're going to tell you about that and what it is and show you some examples of bananas. So upon completion of this lesson, you guys will be able to explain what enzymatic browning is. You'll also be able to give an example of how to prevent it from happening. You'll also be able to tell the difference in bananas that have experienced it by having hands-on experiences by looking at them all.
So basically, let's break it down a little bit and figure out like what enzymatic browning is. Do any of you all have any idea what it could be or like what the chemical processes are? Don't cheat. Any idea? Okay, so basically there's a lot of like chemical words in there and stuff, and they're kind of scary. But when you get down to it, it's basically just oxygen being put into the object. So like whenever you bite into an apple, you're breaking the outside peel of it and allowing oxygen to come in through the apple, which gives it a lot of different chemicals that will kind of cause it to get that brown color. So it's not really rotting, it's just having a new pigment and having a lot of different enzymes that will cause that brown color. A lot of cool things come from oxygen, but this is one of the things that we're like, oh, this is kind of gross. But this is actually responsible for 50% of the loss in produce. So like, if you go to Kroger, how often do you go and see an apple that has a chip in it that you can see the brown on? Like, you really don't see it very often, because oftentimes, like Kroger and Walmart and stuff, whenever the produce is delivered to them, they have people to like check it and stuff, because you obviously as a consumer don't want to purchase something that looks brown and gross, or what you think, because you don't really know what enzymatic browning is. So they actually get rid of all of that food, and it's responsible for 50% of the loss in that produce. So think about how much food we're wasting there. And also, one thing that I thought was really cool is enzymatic browning is actually like important in a lot of other foods too. So like, I'm a huge coffee drinker, and I drink coffee every morning, like religiously. And it turns out that enzymatic browning is actually responsible for like that deep, rich taste in coffee. So it's kind of like how you leave like wine and beer and stuff to like ferment. That's kind of happening with enzymatic browning with like chocolate and coffee. So it's like that cocoa substance.
So, is it bad? I mean, a chemical reaction can sound scary, but a change in color, you know, it's not that big of a deal. And then obviously it's bad because a lot of the product is lost in market, because who wants to buy something that's brown and nasty looking just because of the color? And then obviously like the brown spots, you know, some people like them with the little brown spots, and like, oh yeah, let's get that because it'll be, you know, a little sweeter, a little different texture. So some people are drawn to that. And then the mushiness occasionally if they get, you know, hit or something.
So we're going to ask you guys to actually stand up and come up here, and you're going to grab a piece of paper or like something to write on, and you're going to take a guess as to like which of these bananas has been out for 1 hour, which has been out for 3 hours, what's been out for a day, and then a day in like a baggie, in a plastic baggie. Obviously that one's going to be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But, and then which one has been treated with lemon juice, which we'll explain later, and actually prevents browning in bananas.
So if you all want to come up here, this is going to be A, B, C, D, and E. Don't look at these for now. This is just A, B, C, D, and E.
Wouldn't recommend touching them, but if you want to, you can smell them.
Taste them.
Go for it.
Do whatever you'd like.
Extra credit to the first person who tasted it. Technically, it'll still taste like a banana because enzymatic browning is just
Does not change the flavor.
it's just the color.
Did you try?
You want me to try it?
Do one. I'll do it if you do.
Yeah, that one doesn't look bad. Okay.
Yeah, see which one you guys guess that one is.
I like that, that's green.
That's actually a pretty good banana.
It is. So when you all are done, you can sit down and tell us what you thought. Which one it was.
Because he owns a grocery store and restaurant, so his bananas go bad. The special includes banana pudding.
So, which one do you all think was the one that had been out for an hour?
Really?
Wow.
A, B, C, D, or E?
I
Random
put
guess.
it B.
That would be this one.
Incorrect.
C.
Yeah, because it is, if you look at them, you know, it looks the most normal, most perfect, least brown of the bunch.
That's the one.
So this is the one that's just been out for an hour. It's the freshest one.
What?
Which one do you think's been out for 3 hours? You're good with this. You know your bananas. So, you know, the actual fruit part of it, it's just a little bit brown, and then the peel is starting to turn very brown. So, you know, the more oxygen get into it and changing its colors.
What about, one day?
C.
Where do you see?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got rid of that.
Yeah. So it's starting to get a little mushy, like we said, and then, you know, it's got more brown on it, and the peel is clearly a lot browner than the other ones. Which one do you think's been in the bag? This one's probably a little obvious. Between these two, D and E. Yeah, it was, because I had to peel it completely, but compared to the one that has been out for a whole day without a bag, it's a lot more normal looking because it has not had as much oxygen to let the enzymatic browning occur. So that's also a way you could prevent the enzymatic browning. And then this last one is the one with lemon juice. I put on it this morning about 9 o'clock. So I have not tasted this because I do not like lemons, but it, you know, it's not as brown, but it is a little mushier from the liquid of the lemon juice. So if you're not scared of lemons and you'd like to preserve your banana a little bit in its color, there you go. So a couple ways you can prevent it. You know, cooking, banana pudding, you know, get it in something that doesn't have as much oxygen. Lemon juice, example, E right there. A water bath, if you cut it up and put it in water and then take it out, that will also help. And then green bags. Okay, this is a little gross, but it's a good example. My roommate is a pig style, like, I mean, stuff everywhere. So I noticed she had had bananas for a while. These are probably 3 weeks old, literally. So, you know, these are like a day old and they're already turning brown. These are 3 weeks old and they're still intact. So if that tells you anything, this green bag, the science behind it is it helps absorb the ethanol gas, which helps the banana naturally ripen. So it doesn't have that gas in the bag, so it keeps it fresher longer. So this is also a way that you can prevent them from browning. And then I found this interesting, and you guys might too. If you soak them in pineapple juice or grapefruit juice, it can revive the discoloration. So if they get a little brown, and then you set them in the juice for a little bit, it will take the brownness somewhat away. So it looks a little yummier again.
So to wrap it up, can you all tell me what like a vital chemical component of enzymatic browning is? Just one of like the big chemical words that were up there in the definition.
Or just simple, what makes it happen? Oxygen. Yeah, good.
And then how can it be prevented? Can I have 3 ways?
Green bag.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cooking.
Yeah.
there you go. And lastly,
That's it.
I just want to put that on my phone. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so if you all would like, are brave enough to try any bananas and would like to, you're more than welcome to. And that's it.
That's our source.
Good job. like you guys did, but it works. Okay, what do y'all think you? What do you think you did well?
I remember what the third question